I'm Josh Cooperman, and this is Convo by Design. But you know that, and I'm thankful that you're listening to the show and joining me on this little journey of ours. And it is a journey. I was thinking about you this week. If you're listening to the show, you're a designer, architect, manufacturer in the industry, or a design enthusiast, and you take time out of your busy day to listen to the show, I take that as a challenge to provide you with the opportunity to hear from amazing creatives, incredible brand partners, and others in the industry, all the while in pursuit of sublime design wherever we can find it. We are in a fairly weird time right now. I know you feel it the same way I do. We're all feeling the strange vibes from the economy, politics, social media. But home is refuge, right? Designers and architects make that happen. In an effort to further drill down on this idea, I host small format events presented and hosted by Pacific Sales and Monogram, the official appliance partner of Convo by Design. I have been working with Pacific Sales in one way or another since the podcast started in 2013. And by Pacific Sales standards, that would make me the rookie amongst their staff. I'm serious. I met up with my friend Sean Ayala at KBiz this year, and he introduced me to his Pacific Sales team that made the journey to Las Vegas. Everyone I met had been with Pacific Sales between, I would say, 15 and 25 years. These days, when companies open and close or decide to reimagine themselves every year or so, Pacific Sales has been there for their clients and their design partners for over 60 years. And backed by Best Buy. This is not a commercial. They are a sponsor of the show, absolutely. And I am really proud of that. And they do amazing work, like host the event from which the following conversations were recorded. The complete kitchen. What does that mean? The kitchen has changed in dramatic ways and continues to evolve in previously unimaginable ways. The primary kitchen, dirty or working kitchen, outdoor kitchen, butler's pantry, wine bar, wet bar, coffee bar, ensuite kitchenette, bathroom beverage center, sport court kitchenette. The idea of kitchen has changed and is limited only by the imagination and budget, I suppose. We're going to talk about all this. Here's who joined me at the Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home Showroom in Irvine, California in July of 2024. It was Lisa McDenon, Terry Brand, Susan Teal, Joseph DeCasperis, Jess Jones, Paul Fernandez. And you are going to hear all of it right after this. I am just incredibly proud of this partnership I've got with Thermosol. They have been presenting partners of Convo by Design going on 5 years now. And there is a certain amount of pride that comes with saying that the show is presented by the company that is the best in the world at what they do. Thermosol engineers the most exceptional smart shower products and steam shower systems worldwide, full stop. And it's for a few reasons. First of all, they were the first company to design and patent the technology here in the United States, dating back to 1958. Thermosol, a U.S.-based manufacturer based in Round Rock, Texas, employs an engineering team that designs, tests, and continuously refines the product. Their quality control team tests every single steam generator before it departs the factory. Who else does that? Nobody that I know of. I have the pleasure of working with some world-class designers and architects who tell me, and if you're in the business, you know this, that the idea of luxury has changed, especially when clients want a spa-like bathroom. Steam is mandatory, or it's just not considered a luxury. And if you want to add steam, you have only one true option, my opinion, and that's Thermosol. Mitch Altman, third generation CEO of this family-owned company of 65 years, continues to innovate in the bathroom and shower space through technological marvels such as intelligent showering systems, sound therapy, aromatherapy, technical interfaces, and so much more. And now Thermosol, the industry leader in steam bath equipment and technology since 1958, as I mentioned, is enhancing its already stellar family of products with the new indoor and outdoor luxury saunas available in 3 designs. The configurations are absolutely amazing. And you should probably go check them out. Indoor and outdoor options. It's amazing. You really do need to check them out. Go to thermasol.com or at Thermasol on the socials. We're talking about the complete kitchen. And I think that to preface this by saying the standard American kitchen 20 years ago was you had a refrigerator, you had a range, you had a sink, you had a microwave, you have a dishwasher, and then there's a triangle in said kitchen that connects the three, and there was your standard American kitchen. That would not be acceptable in most situations today, and just from the functionality of it, of having a triangle as opposed to zones. Some may still like the triangle, and we're going to get into that here. Others, the zones have to be there as opposed to, or in conjunction with. That's a topic to talk about as well. What is the minimum standard for a kitchen, in your opinion?
Yeah, so when we work with our clients, and we touched on this earlier, but to me, the minimum standard is a kitchen that not only looks really attractive, but also performs and functions. And that's going to be everyone's answer here, right? But for our clients, I really care about how it actually prepares food for them, or with them rather. So for me, it's the Smart Touch faucet that I think is so helpful for actually cooking and enjoying. It's water quality itself, so we always try to put a filter on the cold water, or if we can do the whole house at the same time, even better, because I want the kitchen to actually be healthy for the client and not just be something that looks really pretty and makes you feel good, but actually also perform really well. And so moving beyond water filtration and having a Smart Touch faucet, which I really do think every kitchen deserves, is looking at those appliances and saying, hey, can we put in a drawer refrigerator somewhere and make it easier so you don't have to walk around an island or peninsula? Can we put in an additional oven, speed oven combination hidden somewhere to make it more functional when you're entertaining? Everyone says they cook one just for Thanksgiving, the kitchen's for that Thanksgiving holiday, but it's really for the entire year. And having that extra set of appliance or item is going to make it feel a lot better for you and not stress you out.
Thoughts?
No, I think completely accurate. Whole house water systems is like a standard. I think every house needs one. Obviously function, we all have to function in the kitchen, but like I said, the back kitchen is so big now. I think every single kitchen I'm doing a back kitchen. Just because of all the appliances. People want the function. They want to have a huge Thanksgiving or a huge party, so maybe a caterer can be in the back kitchen, or they only use the oven 3 times a year, so we don't have to design the whole kitchen around that auxiliary piece or pieces.
Throw it all in the back kitchen.
And it can be messy.
Yeah.
But also there's just so many appliances, so as a designer, it's like, okay, I need symmetry here, and I've got this and this and this and this and this. So I try and create a kitchen, the everyday kitchen, and then also the kitchen for entertaining and holidays and things like that. So I guess different zones.
Where do you start?
For me,
Yeah.
I always start with the floor plan, really, the space plan. After you've done the consultation with the client and you get your kind of wish list, right? You get your shopping list of like wants and desires and things like that. And, to me at that point, really style is secondary. You're going to get there based on the architecture of the house and that type of thing. But in order for the specific design of the kitchen, for me, it goes right to the floor plan. The first thing I do is space plan, because that tells me, flow, what appliances I can fit in, and what I can't, what may or may not work. Of course, yes. Do we look at the triangle? Of course. The triangles are, you talk about it for a particular reason. You want the kitchen to function properly. You want it to be easy. We always talk about, okay, if we put a step somewhere in a house, a client, it's in the wrong place. The client every single day is going to go down that step and be like, oh, Lisa, why is that step there? Driving me crazy. So it's the same thing. We think about making sure that we're placing things things on the space plan properly for the most optimal function. And if we do have a particular appliance in mind, or we're looking to, maybe incorporate more like under-counter refrigeration, or to hide that microwave, or we want to throw in that speed oven, like how are we going to get it to fit? And making sure that aesthetically it's going to look right. So that's where I start.
Do you find indoor, outdoor as mandatory?
Not as mandatory. Again, it's really going to be the client that dictates that. I have some clients that want nothing to do with outdoors, and others that want the complete kitchen setup. They want outdoor seating, they want beverage centers, they want their, refrigeration, they want cooking, they want a sink. So it really depends on the client.
Because there are so many details, because there are so many options, how do you differentiate between want and need?
So that, I think everybody would agree, it starts with the programming, getting to understand the client's, first we know investment level, their wish list, which things are priority. If it comes down to the takeaway and you say, well, maybe this one's lower in the priority, and they're like, oh my gosh, no, I can't live without this, the ice maker. All of a sudden we know these ice makers are so important. I had a client, we went and crunch tested 3 or 4 different under-counter ice makers. So that's basically, how we determine that, is really getting to know and understand that client, how they live in their kitchen. I literally go and I open up cabinet doors. I take pictures of everything that's in there, and I talk to them about what is most important to you. You get to know a lot about a client by opening up those cabinet doors and looking at all their tools and gadgets. So,
and to build on Terry's point, I think our goal as designers is to turn wants into needs, where they can't live without it. Where all of a sudden, to your point, the ice maker, you go through 4 different ones, that might have been a wish list item, and now it's a must-have.
Yes.
And that's what they're not supposed to be experts on kitchen design, but we are, and we get to share all of those latest and greatest items that have long-standing power, right, or longevity.
Live
to
in
it.
a new
Yeah.
way.
Right.
Before they lived
Embrace
like this,
it
and they
differently.
didn't know they could
You educate
live
them.
like that. Yeah. So.
Like steam ovens. My last client, I had to convince them how amazing a steam oven was. And I sent them on a demo. And after the demo, they came back and said, we want the bigger one. So at first they're really hesitant and nervous. We all have known about it for years. And I personally love them, but it's not exactly mainstream yet. It's not a need in every single kitchen, but it should be.
Yeah.
So we also talk about form and function. Paul, you and I have had this conversation before. We talk about the cabinetry as furniture. Mm-hmm. For the kitchen.
Right.
And we've had that conversation. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the things that, would you say that that's where one of the biggest fear points is, due to overall expense? And I don't know why this is, but I feel like clients, of the things that they understand most and understand least, cabinetry seems to be, especially in the kitchen, seems to be one of the things that they understand least.
It's one of the things that I try to do with them is educate them about the cabinets. Most of the public, they come to me with a style that they're familiar with, a shaker style, for example, be it oak or painted white or something. And what I do is show them the various products and show them the various styles that we can do with the different products and different finishes, more importantly. You don't have to go with oak, you don't have to go with white shaker. There's thousands of other options out there, and then we can mix those options up and make the kitchen that much more interesting.
Let's expand on that idea a little bit and talk about aesthetic, because so Manhattan Beach is home for me, and I have gone from seeing everything being beach bungalows and old Volvos to the Cape Cod mod on every single block. And I don't need to see any more Cape Cod mods. White and blue, white and blue, white and blue. But it's interesting because then that same style transcends into the home, and it carries through. And I think when it comes to aesthetic and function as the two relate and correlate and commingle, it doesn't. Let me back up a second. Every year, you get the lists, right? You get the lists. Here are the top 10 things that are going to be incredibly popular.
Yeah.
Here are the top 10 things that you're not going to see anymore. And it's funny for me because at the top of every list every year, both sides is the white kitchen. You're not going to see any more white kitchens. All you're going to see is white kitchens. And I think it's confusing for clients, and I think it's lazy journalism, to be quite honest with you. It's clickbait is what it is. But what designers do is you're the ones who ask your client, hey, do you like a white kitchen? And let's do a white kitchen. And by the way, the white kitchen, you can see how many white kitchens. Talk to me about, you could tell me what you think about when it comes to aesthetic, when it comes to design, when it comes to style. Because nowadays you can get what you want. You just have to be aware of it. And designers are the ones who are aware of it. Where do you start? This is not a want and need. This is a like and dislike. Where do you start with your clients?
Typically, once we onboard the client, then we ask them for any inspo pictures. Do they have a Pinterest page, a house page? Do they have any magazine clippings to kind of see what their aesthetic is? And then take that and then we try to up it. Try to show them something that they haven't seen yet in that same kind of genre or design aesthetic. Because, they hired us for our professional expertise and our years of experience. And so if they say, here's this beautiful kitchen that I saw, in the magazine, okay, great. That was, last year, and that this is what we can do this year, and just kind of show them, give them the options, educate them to say, okay, well, today, finishes can be, whether it's the natural stone or a man-made material, whether it's the speed ovens or the steam ovens, it's just educating them to help them direct them, into something that they didn't know. And that's what I feel like a lot of my clients, they say, oh, I never thought of that. I never saw that before. And so we're bringing a lot to the table. And when we're bringing those ideas to the table, then beautiful things happen. Because they thought that they wanted the white kitchen or the oak kitchen or whatever it is. And okay, we can get you that, but let's just have a spin on it. Let's make it even better than what you had anticipated.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. And, it's great to have that visual conversation with people because you can talk about a particular style or look at what might be in their home. And if they want a change, you can talk about it. But, looking at images, it's a starting point for sure. And then it's our job to be able to evolve that, kind of use that as a morsel or a kickoff point. And then, looking at that, it's just a slice of the pie, right? There are so many other factors that we're looking at that clients don't know about and understand, and so we're kind of layering. I always say, like, I'm a sponge and I'm just taking in all that information, right? You're taking in technology and lighting and appliances and flooring and, okay, well, what are we doing with the ceiling? And okay, well, we've got this weird architectural corner that, like, I don't know, how are we gonna hide that? And oh, okay, they want to have a breakfast bar and this, and okay, they bake, and okay, where are we going to put this? And so we're taking kind of all those things, and I look at it's like a puzzle to me. Like, I mean, that's the part that I think is super fun. Yeah, it's super fun. It's like, where is everything going to fit, and can we get everything that they have on their wish list, and then more, right? Like, what are we going to do to wow? What are we going to do to? So you walk into that kitchen and you're like, oh, this is gorgeous, right? And then they enjoy utilizing it. So
Yeah, my end result is I want to create a kitchen where the client staggers to the kitchen in the morning to get a cup of coffee, and the kitchen itself wakes them up. It's like, yeah, this is awesome, man. Let's get in here. Let's make some eggs and coffee. That's the effect I want to have on the client. And that's done what Lisa was just saying. You figure out all the mechanics, where everything goes, what's going to go in there, and then you start the styling of it, the finishes, and work the finishes until you've got this wow kitchen.
I think we should talk about Instagram and what an impact that's having. I mean, it's like I see this one thing 5 million times, and then I think the trends are changing so quickly that it's kind of like, okay, let's just throw out the whole trend thing completely and design a kitchen for you.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a 2-year turnaround, with style. And then often clients are like, are you sure I'm going to do that? Is that not going to be cool in 5 years? And that's our job to make it look cool. But I think we have to throw that out the window.
And what's trending that looks cool now is not going to be that in 5 years anyways.
No, I know.
So you've got to
It's
create
crazy.
something, try to create something timeless, but more as well as suit their needs and their aesthetic. Something, like I said, it's going to be a wow factor in the morning,
Yeah, I take a different approach. I don't go out of my way to say, show me stuff on social media or show me stuff on Pinterest, because I don't even know how to use Pinterest. It's like changed way too many times in my lifetime. But for me, it's like, okay, tell me how you function, give me a general gist, and then I'll run with it and let me create for you and like be a true artist and just see what happens. I say the worst case scenario is you tell me you hate it. And my feelings don't get hurt. I want to honor and serve what they're looking to create. But it helps when we get social media out of the equation. They're not looking for the next big thing. They're looking for the next reason to enjoy their home. And it doesn't matter what else is going on around. As designers, it's our job to learn about everything that's going on and what's the next big thing, and then bring those design details in. But I don't want them to feel like they have to do all this crazy homework. I want to just create for them.
Yeah.
You are listening to my conversation about the Ultimate Kitchen from the Ultimate Kitchen and Home Showroom, the Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home Showroom in Irvine, California. We'll be right back. Design Hardware's newly remodeled showroom is where you will find a gallery-style space with a thoughtful display of products, purposefully positioned to allow unbridled exploration and discovery. High-end faucets, luxury tile, natural stone, wood floors, and bespoke hardware selections are presented in a holistic manner, strategically arranged to stimulate creativity and transition your vision from the conceptual stage to a fully realized space. Conveniently located, free parking available. Stop by to find your inspiration. Collect samples, get expert advice, and tackle everything on your shopping list all in one place. Visit them online at designhardware.com or in the real world, 6053 West 3rd Street in Los Angeles. Man, I love this. I have a new sponsor partner on the show that I want to introduce you to if you're not already familiar with them. If you are a specifying designer, architect, landscape architect, or savvy design enthusiast, if you have heard about the quiet luxury movement, this idea of crafting a lifestyle around understated elegance, simplicity, and sophistication, there's more to it than that. And I will add uncomplicated living. Isn't that what we all strive for? I am extremely happy. I'm really thrilled to share a company that embodies all of this, utilizing proprietary technology and a focus on sustainability in their stunningly beautiful products. It's TimberTech. TimberTech is the premium decking company delivering multi-tonal, color blending, and natural wood textures in a product that is virtually indistinguishable from a natural wood product. What does this mean? It means it's everything wood should be. A beautiful look that blends seamlessly with a well-designed space, providing years of enjoyment and performs the way you want it to. No splintering, fading, peeling, cracking, or rotting. I had a wood deck at our Manhattan Beach home, and I gotta tell you, it was exasperating every year doing the random board flip, taking out nails, resetting them, restaining them. It was a complete pain. It was complicated, and I didn't look forward to it. I wish I had TimberTech, because TimberTech is not only uncomplicated, it's beautiful. It comes in over 20 finish options and 9 collections, and 85% of the material is recycled. This is premium decking for your next project. Learn more and specify it for your next design project. TimberTech on the socials or timbertech.com, where you can find a retailer near you, as well as a number of tools to create, design, order samples, and get the expert help you may need. TimberTech
has
is
done
uncomplicated
far
luxury
more bad
and
than
performs.
good.
It's your choice for your next
just
tech project.
Personal, as it relates specifically to design. Because I mean, we could have the broader conversation, but not here. As it relates to design, I think it creates. I was talking earlier about having time and space dysmorphia. Like I don't have a. Did I meet you in person or was it on Zoom? I don't. It was like, yeah, you were in Hawaii. I was like, no. I mean, we did meet. You were in Hawaii, but
We did.
but it's like, no, that was my backdrop. That was my background on Zoom. I was not in Hawaii.
I'm virtually in Hawaii.
Yeah, but what I think it's also done is you look at an AD. I think, AD historically is just such a remarkable property and such a great media outlet. But I feel like what they've done over the past 2 to 3, 5 years in particular, where it's just celebrity. It's all these videos that look like cribs from MTV. Like, hey, oh, AD, what are you doing here? All right, come on in. Look at my fireplace. But what it's done is it has created a dysmorphia. It has created something where now the average person, that's all of us, right? We'll go and look at our kitchens and be disgusted by our luxury kitchen or what we have because it's not what your favorite celebrity has and what you saw on the AD videos. It's not fair. It's not a fair conversation. It's not apples to apples. And by the way, that celebrity probably never uses that kitchen, ever. And they might sell the house next year because it was just an investment. It was a media buy, not a home purchase. How do you utilize social media with your clients? How do you activate it? Joe, I'm going to leave you out of this because I know you don't. But how do you use it? How do you activate it? How do you make a positive out of it? And how do you have, because designers are part psychologists, psychiatrists. You have to be. You have to be. How do you use it? How do you use it?
I mean, I use it more for myself and to educate, potential clients on basically what I do, because not everybody knows. I get asked all the time, what is full service design? What's the process? So I actually use it to put that out there. I do try to discourage my clients from sending me all the pictures they see, and tell them, like, don't oversaturate yourself. We're designing a space for you, and it needs to be personal to you, not like everybody else's that you're seeing on Instagram. So for me, it's more just getting my face on there, getting people to know who I am, what the business is about, and educating them on what we do.
Thoughts?
Yeah, social media has been a little internal battle that I've had, for my business and myself, and just growing it little by little. But I think just to be relevant in the industry, to show that you are, a working designer, that you're involved in the community, that you have projects going on. Like, I show a lot of that and like kind of behind the scenes installs, and obviously the pretty pictures and things, and just also to show my personality. I try to show my personality a little bit more on social media. It's been a battle a little bit, like I said. But just really, I think it's about being relevant.
So wait a minute. So you use it for business purposes, but do you not ask clients to show you Pinterest, Instagram? Do you not ask them to show you?
I do a little bit. Like I said, like I'll say, show me an inspo picture of some sort, but typically my clients haven't really been like Instagram heavy. It's usually like a Pinterest or a magazine cutout, like rip out of a magazine. Every once in a while I do have clients that follow me on Instagram, and so they'll be like, oh, I saw that kitchen you did, and I want to do that in my kitchen now. And so there's that kind of thing that happens sometimes. But for the most part, I use social media as a business tool, basically, as I look at it.
Do you worry that if you put your ideas up on social media, that it becomes a place for people to rip you off?
I don't worry about it. You're going to get ripped off no matter what if people want to rip you off.
It's a spirit.
What do you mean by rip off? You mean copy what you do?
Copy your ideas.
Like that chandelier I mentioned earlier in the
Yeah.
conversation. That's going to be on social media when it's done, and I anticipate somebody ripping it off to some degree.
It's just inevitable.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
we used to try to like have where you couldn't copy and paste pictures on your websites, right? That was like a big thing when we all first started to get websites where, you know, you couldn't right click to copy and paste a picture. That's all gone out the door now because everyone can just screenshot, you know? So once
Yeah.
that started to happen, then it was just like, okay, well, that we, you know, typically you're not supposed to go and you're not going to say that that's your own, you know, project, but you're going to show the next designer or family member of this kitchen, or, you know, like, I saw Lisa's kitchen, and I have a client. I saw Lisa's kitchen. Do you see this kitchen? You know, and that's just like it's typical these days. I feel like.
I mean, I feel like to some degree we're all iterating on something that came past and prior.
Yeah, you take a
It's
little
an
snippet
evolution,
here and
exactly.
there.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's
I
why
try
we're
to
all
take
inspired.
the whole social media conversation out as soon as possible, out of the conversation, just like Joe said. You know, address it initially, try to talk them out of it, get it out of the conversation so that now the client and I can now create something original that's going to work for them.
I think sometimes there's misrepresentation on social media. I mean, I have to have the conversations with the client. Okay, well, that looks pretty on Instagram, but that might be in a foreign country, and we can't actually do that here. Or, you know, stairs without railings, or you know, like they covered the vent on the refrigerator, and it's like, oh, that probably was done for the picture. But certain things, it's like I'm finding I have to like edge it. Okay, let's sit down and talk. That not everything is accurate on Instagram, so we just have to like talk about what's reality and what can be done, or those situations. I just find I'm having a lot of those conversations.
I love Instagram.
Well, you're really good at it.
Well, this is not a social bashing.
No.
It's
I know, but it was just interesting, like listening to everybody's like conversation. It was like, okay, you know, yeah. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, is kind of how I see it, right? But like for me, you know, it's like design on mobile. You know, for me, like I love magazines, and I've always loved magazines and books. And part of, you know, before I was even an interior designer, I mean, it was constantly flipping through magazines, tearing things out, resourcing. Like, so I use it as a resource. I'm just voraciously on there looking at new things and being like, oh, I like this, or did I have met so many people. I have artists. I mean, some of them now are like dear friends of mine. I'm sourcing materials from all over the world. So for me, I use it as a tool and as a resource. But, you know, it's the same thing like where a client is traveling all the time and they're like, oh, I just went to this hotel and I like this design. And, you know, the information, the imagery, it's constant, right? You're just getting an overwhelming amount of you know, information and images that, you know, you can't consume them all. And so I think, yes, it's our job to filter all of that. It's our job to kind of pick the morsels, and, you know, it's a source of inspiration. And I think it's a great way to have a community and to be able to have outreach and to share ideas. And so I really embrace it.
Well, and I asked the question for a specific reason because I'm curious about. I think that oftentimes clients, prospective clients, new clients don't really understand what the designer actually does. You know, and I think that it's impossible to outline what a designer actually does in your contracts, regardless of how important they are. You can't really tell them what you do and what you don't do. There's an education process, and because every designer does it differently. The creative works that you do, I spoke with Bunny Williams once, and she was like, I will create, at the start of my career, I would create a space that I didn't want anyone to know that it was a Bunny Williams design. And at first, I was kind of like, that makes no sense to me. Explain that. I don't get it. I don't know why you're saying that. Why wouldn't, you're a creative, why wouldn't you want everyone to know that it was your work? And she said, because it's not about me. I was like, that's brilliant. I get it now. That was the first time that I really understood. That what designers do is, and also at the time, I was also just starting out the podcast, and I would ask designers, it's not a stupid question, well, depending on who you ask, but it's a pedestrian question. I would ask, so what's your style? What is your signature? You're nodding at me,
Yeah,
Lisa.
like,
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I learned later that it's not a stupid question. It's just a pedestrian question, because
it doesn't matter what your style is. Now, if we're talking about your house and your kitchen, it totally matters, because how do you design your kitchen for yourself, right? But ultimately, because you're designing for your clients, you can't just copy a design and say, oh, that's what my client wants, so I'm going to do. Well, they may not want, ultimately, they may not need that, right? So I find it interesting to learn how different creatives think about different things. So shifting gears a little bit, because I'm curious, once you get to your own design, the aesthetic, the client needs, wants, how do you interact with the industry? And I ask that specifically because the industry, in my opinion, has stepped up dramatically. Specifically, the kitchen appliances and the appliance manufacturers. You can't design something if you don't have product to put there, you know. And because you've been given all that, I'm curious. What do you think of? Has the industry met your needs? Have those needs changed? Is there anything you feel like you don't get? Or how has the industry changed? We're at the Monogram display inside Pacific Sales in Irvine, California. I had to think about it. Where am I? And because of that, you know, you're looking around and it's like, wow, I have options. Indoor kitchen, outdoor kitchen, scullery, butler's pantry, coffee bar, wine bar. It goes on. Joe, how do you work with the industry? How has the industry served you? How has it changed to meet your changing needs based on that of your clients?
Yeah, well, all of us work with people that we know, like, and trust, right? That's the core foundation of sales and relationships. But to your point, I would say there's been a dramatic increase in support from the manufacturers because everyone wants a piece of the pie. And so when everyone wants that same piece of the pie, they're going to show up and showcase their product and really help you not only sell it, but also be rewarded for it, by whether that be media placement or publicity or whatever that might be. I think we're all sitting here because we're all super engaged in our industry. I know Jess served as the president of ASID Orange County. I serve right now as the president of the SoCal chapter of NKBA. And that's why we're here. We're here for this community because it not only makes our lives better, but it makes our homeowners that we work with lives better, the clients that we work with, the people that we work with, because we're all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of the manufacturers have taken a lot of time to invest time, energy, and money into us designers, and they fly us to different parts of the world or the country to have experiences of cooking on the appliances. You know, once I went to Napa and I learned how to cook on their appliances, and you know, and even just whether it's appliances or stone and countertops. Been to Spain for Cosentino. They want to invest time and money into us because we are ultimately selling their product. But then we're marrying to those products now because I can speak on them because I know them like the back of my hand, and I'm very educated on those products. Like I know certain appliance companies more than other appliance companies because of the time that they've taken to invest in me and my knowledge for my clients.
Yeah, there's that reciprocity, which is a really simple psych phenomenon that lets everyone be successful when they embrace it. Mm-hmm. Right? I'll show you one thing, you'll show me something else, and we'll work together and collaborate.
I think they're listening too. I mean, certain things like, for instance, the porcelain slabs weren't through body, and they're starting to make them, or certain things that we say, hey, we're missing on this, and at least I think that they're listening to us and trying to make products that work in a kitchen and are aesthetically pleasing.
I think we have a lot more options now than we've ever had before, and you know, I'm working on a kitchen design, you know, right now. I was going to actually have a client meet me here today to look at appliances, and, you know, they're overwhelmed with the options. And, you know, so it's about, I think, you know, making sure that we're aware of all those options and navigating, you know, all the new technology too. I mean, there's so much of that happening right now that I feel more than ever like I need to learn more and understand more, kind of get even a deeper dive into the products so that I can be able to, you know, present those in a more detailed way. You know, they're a lot more complex.
We have to filter because there's so much and clients get so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to take you to a tile showroom.
Exactly. And that's where I say, like, once
Because
we
their head
know.
spins. And,
Yeah.
Like, once we know the client's direction or the aesthetic or their
Yeah.
needs, is the kitchen, are they cooking with the appliances, we know their budgets, well, then we just steer them in a couple of directions. Here's our 3 companies that we think would be best fit for you. And they don't have to go and touch and feel everything. And then we can meet them at the appliance showroom to show them those 3 manufacturers. And then it's an easy transition. It's an easy, okay, I want Sub-Zero Wolf. I know that this is going to fit my needs. This is everything that I need. And then so that, because if we just say, oh, go to Pacific Sales, check it out.
Yeah.
Well, wait a
Alone.
minute. So wait a second. This brings up a really interesting topic that I'd like to sort of explore a little bit further. Going to showrooms with your clients. I think we've already established with tile showrooms it's a no-go. It's not happening. Fair enough? Okay.
Yeah.
Unless it's a have to.
I'll bring you samples. Trust me, I'll bring you samples.
No furniture, no tile,
No furniture, no tile.
not on their own.
Oh,
Yeah.
So-
definitely
so-
not on their own.
Slab yard, same thing.
Same
They need to
thing.
be escorted, and shown the product. And me,
Guided.
I've already scoped it out. I already know what I want to show them. It's 1, 2, maybe 3 slabs, 3 different types of slabs. Otherwise, they start walking around on their own. They come back to you with 15 photographs of 15 different things. Like, I like them all. What do I do?
I mean, even when I'm taking them, I'm telling them, we're going here to look at this. There's
Yes,
going to be
exactly.
a lot of pretty things.
Exactly.
You're going to like a lot, but we're going to be focused on this. I am huge with expectation setting, and that's one thing I always do before I take them into a showroom or anything.
I don't go out of my way to bring clients to really many showrooms in general, even appliance shopping. When we're looking at that, I kind of learn their needs, and I'll share, hey, there's these 2 or 3 brands. We're super spoiled in Orange County with every single appliance manufacturer having its dedicated showroom, and I rely on the relationships there to be able to give them something a little bit more special, a little bit more nuanced. I don't want them to feel like we're just spending an hour or 2 shopping together. It's kind of a little bit awkward, honestly. It's like, oh, I could tell you about that too because I have all of this random knowledge, but I want to stay focused, and the best way to do that is either selling on a picture and a dream or taking them directly to the experience centers that are only there to serve the clients that you're working with and then they send you back to Pacific Sales to
And
buy whatever you need.
You're being mindful of their time, too,
Yeah.
because
Of course.
their time, it's money.
And you might get a free meal out of it.
Exactly.
A professionally produced meal.
Back to the topic at hand, because it's interesting because I feel like one of the things I love most, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and love is not I do love these conversations. The fact that I learn something new every time I have them is just so much fun. But it's also that everyone here does this differently. And ultimately, the goal is to satisfy the needs, wants, and desires of your clients, right? And back to the kitchen, the bedroom. Mattresses have changed, right? But I don't feel like the materiality of the space, the technology of the space, really lighting, maybe a little bit, yeah. But I don't feel like the technology or materiality has changed much in the living spaces. But the kitchen,
Kitchen and bathrooms.
holy moly. And there's a blur factor. There's a crossover effect where with the GLP-1s and makeup, now you're finding more refrigeration in bathrooms, which I think is fascinating. It elevates the entire design. Are you finding that as well?
Bedrooms need drawer refrigerators. They do. They totally do. They need a panel drawer refrigerator.
And
you could
coffee
put
bar.
yeah.
Coffee bar.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we've done like
bar.
the morning kitchens too, but at the very least you have this beautiful like entertainment center wardrobe built into the wall, make it feel like a luxury hotel. That drawer refrigerator is awesome for water bottles in the middle of the night, maybe a couple of beverages. It's so silly, but it's that concept depending on how you make their space feel. Having this zone where they don't have to leave and go into the rest of their house, whether it's a multi-story home or just not leaving the premises of their own bedroom, it's something special for them.
It's fun.
Like warming drawers in spas,
And bathrooms
gyms.
for towels.
Yeah, that's been a thing. Yeah.
And they're rated for it. There's a couple on the market that explicitly say you could throw a towel in there and it won't catch on fire, which is nice.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Sweatshirts in outdoor areas to warm up the sweatshirt before you're sitting by the fire or wherever.
Stones for massages.
Yeah.
Filter faucets in the master bathrooms, the primary bathrooms now, so they have clean drinking water, at their sink. It's not beautifully done, but you can have a matching, coordinating one. But I've seen that done it once or twice now, where they want a clean filter faucet spigot.
Do you feel like hospitality and residential are starting to merge more than before?
100%. People want to resort at home,
Yep.
so they want all those bells and whistles at home. And I think COVID had something to do with
Yeah,
that.
the
Yeah.
amenities.
Yeah.
What is the because we're talking about kitchen and I think bath to some degree, because you can talk about one and the other at the same time. What are the lasting effects COVID has on design, specifically as it relates to kitchen and bath?
A lot of people spent a lot of time on social media and HGTV, and so they became much more aware, like an awakening, I hate to say that word, but to all of the options out there. So people are much more, instead of, there's still certain things we're bringing to them because we all keep up with the brands and what's the newest and latest and greatest, but they're also coming to us with these things, and it's like, oh, okay, they're actually asking for the warming drawers and the nugget ice makers and all those other things that weren't mainstream before.
And I think that just overall people were obviously spending a lot of time at home. And so they saw, oh, well, my kitchen actually is pretty dated. And so they, we boomed during that time, and we were crazy busy, But I think that just all really started to enjoy being home, enjoyed being more.
You don't need to go on vacation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so they realized that they can bring some of those things to their home, and that's where, like, the indoor-outdoor for California, I mean, I think even skyrocketed even more, and then having the indoor gyms and the spas. I mean, I was installing on a project yesterday with another designer that we're collabing on, and they literally had a salt room in the master bathroom, so it's a full spa experience that they're putting in their homes now. So, we live in Orange County. We live in a place where people come to vacation, and so now people, I think, are embracing that even more and spending a little bit more on their homes so they can truly enjoy their home experience. To all different aspects, with automation of the roller shades now. I mean, that's booming. I have almost every client that wants automated shades now. Just all the things that I think they realize that they can have in their homes, I think is what, when they sat in their home for a year, that they realized that they can bring into their home.
Yeah, and I think the kind of aftermath of that is that I think our live work situations are forever changed. With people doing more of a hybrids work from home. They're still working from home, not being in the office full time, and so with that, I think people are continuing to spend more time at home and live more at home even during the week, during the day. And I think the more important is to rely on that kitchen and bath and the resources that you have available within the home to make it pleasurable and functional. And there's more people probably in the house too, right? So if kids have come home or, family compounds, you might have multiple people cooking in a kitchen. And so the need for a scullery or a dirty kitchen, and so that you can have, more people working together in a space.
It seems like you can't have a conversation today without at least talking about AI a little bit. And I want to specifically ask about it because in this case, look, I think that in the design community, there are those designers who fear losing clients and losing business to AI because, well, it can just design it. It can't, not yet. At some point in the future, might it be able to? I suppose, but with the amount of mistakes and just try to get past Title 24 and try to get past all the restrictions, especially as it relates to a kitchen, it's just not possible. That being said, and I'll go around,
Do you use AI tools at all in your design, not blog writing or media, but in the design planning?
The only thing I've used it for so far is inspiration images. If there's something, rather than spending all this time searching for what I'm trying to explain to the client just in the conceptual for inspiration images, I've gotten pretty good at figuring out how to put the prompts in to get that image. So it's been helpful there, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, likewise, exploring Midjourney and AI and Discord and all that to get the inspo images, the flat lay mood boards, all of that. That's been really, really helpful. And even with SketchUp, doing the AI into SketchUp now to show the client 3 different kitchens without spending 3 days sketching it up with 3 different finishes. That's been mind-boggling changing, like how cool that can be and how quick that is. So SketchUp, and then the creation of inspo images I've been using.
Yeah, it's been fun messing with AI. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how it could better assist us, because right now these inspiration pictures are great, but they're not.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're so far from even exact. It's like if you squint, it kind of looks like something that could be real. It's been fun working with it, but I'm not really implementing it or using it daily or even weekly in my client experience.
Yeah, I would say same thing. I'm sort of in the background a little bit, like watching to see what happens and look at the different programs and figure out which one I want to tackle and learn about. I was just recently at the art conference in New Orleans, and they had a gal talking about, she's an interior designer, and she actually teaches AI for interior designers, and so that was inspiring for me, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to sign up for her class, and you got to get on board, right, and learn the different tools, and so I'm definitely excited to learn all the different opportunities and to see how it can help facilitate some of the design and be inspired by it. So I think it's exciting.
I actually did use it for an inspiration piece for a piece of artwork. So having a custom piece of artwork commissioned for a client, and of course it's going to be exactly like this, but here's the kind of look and feel we're going for to help the artist better understand. So I did use it for that.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Same. I use it for inspiration. It's kind of fun to kind of throw out ideas and see what comes back, and just mixing materials or mixing colors and seeing. So I just play with it, but daily I think it's more for the business side that I think it's going to be more helpful to us. I don't think it's going to take over our industry. I think what we do is too complex, and there's too much personality involved that I'm not that worried.
Well, I actually haven't jumped in yet. It's at the top of my to-do list to learn the programs that Terry just mentioned, so that I can do what everybody's talking about, the inspo pictures, so that I can show people the possibilities of what we can do. I'm excited about learning it, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. I took a course at MIT about AI and generative machine learning, and here's what's going to be so interesting about how AI serves the design community. It's not what we've discussed here is form not function. I think imagine a world where the machines are fed data. Here's who's buying appliances and what they're buying them for. Here's how they use them. Here's how they serve. Then taking that data, feeding it to an algorithm. So you as a designer, upon intake with a new client, can get 15, 20 data points. And you can feed those data points into a questionnaire that serves the algo. The algorithm will then push out not a design per se, because that's not what you're asking it for, but you're asking for the functionality. If they want this, if they use this, then they'll use that. Then you can take that data and put it into your design, and it's saved you so much time, effort, and energy on the functionality side of it. The form side, that's the easy part, right? But you still get hallucinations, and you still get things that you have to work out, but it's amazing what you can do. Okay, last question going the other way is talking about a complete kitchen. what are, and it's okay if we repeat, because I think we're going to, but what are some things that a complete kitchen must have?
Well, in my opinion, a speed oven. Talking to people about a speed oven is usually when that word comes out of my mouth, they're like, what? They're scratching their head. What's a speed oven? I have to explain it to them. And once I explain it to them, it's like, you're going to have your second or third oven A with a microwave feature, and they're on board.
I mean, a kitchen has to function. It's the heart of the home. It's where everybody cooks. But I've had clients that never cook. So, I mean, they might not use a speed oven
Right.
or an ice maker or what. So I think it's about function, obviously, making breakfast, making lunch, things like that. It has to serve that. But it also has to be a place that family conversations happen. Friends come over and socialize. It's got to have a space for congregation. I think.
Communal environment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. Yes. I mean, I think we've all talked about how each one of our clients and projects and kitchen designs are specifically tailored to the client, to what their needs are, to the space and the style. And so I think, the complete kitchen is different for every person. It's just really different. And that's our job to kind of figure out what are those things based on their needs. And I think that it's a great time to be designing kitchens right now with the amount of product that we have available in terms of countertop materials, appliances, like integrated hoods, filtration systems, different cabinet finishes and things like that. I mean, it's exciting because more and more products are coming out that we get to play with. It's like our palette and our, has grown tremendously. So I would say it's very individual.
Customization.
Absolutely.
I get excited about this question because I get so passionate. I would say the connected kitchen has a smart touch faucet. It has induction cooking technology, if applicable. It has the smart connected appliances that you can check and make sure that the range you didn't leave it on in a flurry of getting everyone out the door for breakfast. Of lights that go on 30 minutes before sunset and off at 11 or 12 p.m. So you're actually using your space and enjoying that integrated lighting. I love ice. I don't think ice makers belong in the kitchen. They're too loud. But if the refrigerator has multiple ice options or whatever that might be, easy to clean, maintain, and really good ventilation as well. I feel like we forget about that a lot, but that's the cleanup as well.
Yeah, I kind of have to play off of what everyone's saying here, and it's very individual for the client, for the budget, and the aesthetic. But I think overall, it's just a matter of those client needs and how they ultimately are going to use the kitchen. Because we have an answer, we have a solution for every single client now. We have all of the people that they don't want to have to clean. Guess what? We have countertops. So you're never going to have to worry about etching and staining. We don't want to have to, have gas because we have children. Guess what? We have induction range. Like there's the skies are the options are endless now when it comes to kitchen design. So I think it's just really honing in on those client needs and those aesthetics and their daily lives, how they're going to use it. Do they have kids and dogs and pools and all those different things? All of those come into place when when we're designing the kitchens.
I mean, again, same, my top of mind is always designing the kitchen with the client in mind, what their daily routines are, speed ovens, steam ovens, pot fillers. One thing I don't think we've talked much about, which I love, is the organizational options that you can get in cabinets, tall pull-out pantries, pegboards, kitchen I just designed. They had so many tools and gadgets. And there was, in all of their cabinets, there was maybe 3 drawers that didn't have something in it. Whether it was like the drawer inside of a drawer for your pots and your pans lids. Organization is hugely important for functionality. So all of those things, if they have a sacred morning routine, making their life easier and more enjoyable in that kitchen is what it's about.
I love that. And I love this. Thank you all for taking the time to do this. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As a busy professional designer, you know how important it is to find the right partnerships. Partnerships that allow you to specify the right products for every project. Professionals like you don't just have time to sit around and waste, right? So let me tell you about one of my partnerships. Pacific Sales is here to serve you with expert, knowledgeable, and non-commissioned professionals to help you specify the right product for all your projects. Non-commissioned. That means their only incentive is your satisfaction. Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, has just that, with over 60 years of service in Southern California. Pacific Sales is your destination for exploration, advice, and inspiration. And you will find all your favorite brands, like Monogram, and their commitment to providing exceptional products, starting with materials. Monogram sources commercial-grade stainless steel on their refrigerators, unscratchable sapphire glass on their cooktop knobs, durable marine-grade bearings on their dishwasher racks. Monogram takes inspiration from the leading-edge materials used in the high-end automotive and aeronautics industry to provide you with lasting beauty and exceptional quality. The beauty is backed by the same level of attention to performance, which is why Monogram appliances are trusted and sought after by chefs all over the country. Chain-driven French oven doors that can be opened with one hand, and an industry-exclusive hearth oven that allows for all-electric indoor brick oven-style cooking without the need for external ventilation. These are just a few of the things that make Monogram so special. Pacific Sales features Monogram appliances, and Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home team is here to help you and offer their Pro Rewards program, which is a trade program unlike any you have experienced before. And here's the cherry on top, access. Access to exclusive builder trade incentives from top brands like Monogram. Visit a Pacific Sales showroom today to learn how you can unlock additional savings and benefits. Don't miss out on the opportunity to work with the best of the best. Visit Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home today and elevate your projects to new heights. Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, where excellence meets expertise. Thank you, Michelle, Terry, Jess, Susan, Paul, and Joe. Thank you, Verzine, Caesar, and Sean with Pacific Sales for hosting this amazing experience. I enjoyed our conversation and cannot wait to see what you amazing creatives do next. Thank you to my partner sponsors, Thermosol, Pacific Sales, TimberTech, Monogram, and Design Hardware. These partners are amazing companies, all who have made a concerted effort to support the design community through education, incentives, events, media, and exposure, not to mention a collection of extraordinary products and services to match. Check the show notes for links to each of them so you can see firsthand how they can make your design business thrive and your projects exceed expectations. Thank you for listening, downloading, subscribing, and sharing the show with your friends and colleagues. Thank you for your email, show, and guest suggestions. Please keep them coming. convobydesign@outlook.com and on Instagram, convobydesign with an X. Until the next episode, be well and take today first.